I'd like to welcome each and every individual to the Voices of Integrity for Passions podcast. And this particular session or this particular podcast is going to be an interesting one. I can assure you, you've never experienced anything like this in your life. Just saying. Ben, you're the one that kind of came up with it. How come you went off the video, Ben? Are you shy?
No, I'm trying to figure out how to see myself.
So
I can't see myself and get self-conscious over here.
You're the one that you came up with this, idea of doing this. What's your vision for this podcast, Ben?
Passion. I feel like I don't have a lot of passions. And I feel like a big piece, especially with me growing older and older, 25 now, I feel like I want to find my passion and just drive it forward like nothing else. The problem is I know a lot of people they're passionate about cars, passionate about sports, passionate about all this stuff. And I'm over here like, I don't know. I don't really have anything that I'm like, okay, I love this. Like I could watch this, see this, do this every single day and not have a problem. And so that's probably the biggest reason that this came up.
I've got the solution for Ben. Anybody else got a solution for Ben?
Yeah.
Well, it's a short podcast. Go ahead.
So Ken's got one, I think he said. I think I heard Ken. Anybody else have a solution for Ben?
I don't know. It's been a while since I was that old, so.
Yeah.
Hey, how about you? Do you have any
number
solution for somebody in their mid-20s struggling with passions, not sure what they're passionate about, wants to have more passion, wants to drive their passion forward? Do you have any suggestions for Ben?
Try a lot more things.
Okay. What does that mean, Jason?
I don't know. To me, it means try something and you find out if you're passionate about it or not, and then then try something else. And I don't know. Try different things. As long as it doesn't take massive amounts of money, just your time, then you can try different things. And I don't know.
I can think of a few hobbies that might cost money.
Anybody else? I think he was referring to. Kenny, how about you?
I'm not sure.
I hate to have Ken and I jump in.
Kenny, are you doing okay today? You look a little tired.
Yeah, I haven't had my breakfast yet.
Oh, okay, buddy. So I feel like
Aren't you just eating cereal?
Passions?
Go on, Ben.
Do you have any passions?
I have stuff I like to do. Yeah.
You want to name like one or two off?
I mean, I like to work on cars, fix things.
I have a car here, man. You could fix it. You'd have a lot of fun. Just saying. Yeah, that's the funny thing is I don't really enjoy, I'll do it, but I couldn't see myself like, you know what I want to do on a Saturday morning? I want to wake up early and work on my truck. That sounds awesome.
So what you do
why
is
do I have that issue? That's the issue right there. It's like most guys, or at least a lot of guys, younger guys, they like to work on cars, probably just to try to pick up younger women, but we don't know.
So Ben, what you do is you ask Kenny, you say, so Kenny, why do you enjoy working on cars?
Kenny, why do you enjoy working on cars? Nailed it.
I think it's always when I'm working on it, there's something wrong with it. So I like to fix it, make it work again, and make it work better than it did previously.
So you like to problem solve.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be cars. I mean, I fixed my jet ski. I fixed a lot of stuff. It does not just
Mhm.
necessarily vehicles.
So do you do it yourself?
I do. Yep. I just buy stuff I need and then I fix it. But that's not a very cheap hobby either.
Well,
Well, neither is buying a brand new truck that doesn't need to be fixed. So I'm just saying.
or paying somebody else to go ahead and fix your truck
Right.
or vehicle. So yeah. Anybody
I mean-
else before when you're looking at passion, find out what causes people to have passions. Like, why are you passionate about that? Or why do you enjoy doing that? So again, before Ken and I jump in, does anybody else have any input for Ben? Have you done your passion circle, Ben?
I have.
Okay, so let's get that over to Adam so it can get posted on here. So once you go ahead and get it posted, once you publish your passion circle, it's crazy what will happen. So we can do that for the next podcast. Make sense?
Sure.
Okay. Anybody else have anything before Ken shares his thoughts? Okay, Ken, what were you thinking when Ben shared what he shared?
It was similar to what Jason said. I think it, you can look, if you don't have a lot of money, then you look at things, you try and do stuff you've never done before and it doesn't cost any money. And you try things you've never tried before. And then instead of just doing it, then you take some time, like this takes some discipline, but this takes some time for you to say, okay, what did I like about that? Or did I hate it? So, or why did I hate it? And why did what a part of it did I like? And then you can say, okay, knowing what I know now, because you learned something about yourself. Because you tried something new that you've never tried, and now you can figure out, okay, what did I like about it? What didn't I? And then that might give you the next step. What's a new thing I've never done before that might have some aspects to what you liked, but it's different. You try that. So look at it as, I don't know, a quest or something that, I mean, is there any way that you could say, for 2024, I'm going to try 26 things or 24 things, 2 things every month that I've never done before. I'm going to write down on a spreadsheet what it was, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. And if money's a problem, again, you could just say, okay, it can't cost me any money at all.
Or I could, how you doing, Uncle Ken? You want to hang out? Go snowboarding or something?
There you
I
go.
can do that.
You could,
Yeah.
you could do that where you could say, okay, I mean, that would be a workaround, right? You could try and say, you could go to a rich uncle and say, hey, I want to try something new. Would you try it with me, or would you do it with me? But you have to pay for it all.
And
maybe
the surprising part, they might actually say yes.
they might say yes. You never know.
Couldn't hurt to ask.
There you go.
So one of the things that I might actually have passions.
Yeah, I think you do.
I might have passions where I don't exactly view them as passions. And while you were talking, I was like, dude, what if I purposely am trying not to view them as passions or purposely not to try to have passions just because I feel like they're selfish or will take from others to where they're not exactly helping.
So Adam, put in the podcast right beside somewhere here, the link to the white paper, WIIFM, what's in it for me, the concept of selfishness or selflessness. So put that white paper in so Ben can have that and others can have that as
Mhm.
well. And so,
So Ben,
Okay.
what you said, it was interesting because I think that's a great question for you to ask. And if you can come up with, like, you gave some suggestions, but you didn't really come to a conclusion. So, you could brainstorm, what are some possibilities about why I don't want to find my passions? And write all those down. What are the possibilities? But if you can figure out the answer to that question, that would be big.
And
nobody-
why I don't want to have passions?
Yeah. I mean, isn't it counterproductive if I want to find passions, but you're sabotaging yourself because some reason you don't want to have passions. And so you won't be able to find it because until you figure out the block. What's blocking you from doing it?
There
So
might
can you
be-
have the passion of wanting to help others to have passion? Is that considered a passion then? Or a hobby necessarily? Not
I
really.
think so. Sure.
Because I enjoy helping other people
So does
to a
Kenny.
point. Yeah.
So do I.
Right. It's weird. It's weird how a lot of guys I know, it's just like they just enjoy helping others. I don't know. It's weird. And then women look at us like, you don't even help. But no, it's fine. Another podcast. So yeah, I feel like maybe I'm more focused on trying to help others. Is that healthy though? Rather than, because everyone has their hobbies and it's supposed to help them keep their heart calm and feel good and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so a couple things. One is you might have more than one thing holding you back.
Okay.
So Ben revealed one thing that held him back already. Ken gave him a good suggestion because it might be more than one. Did anybody hear what Ben revealed is the one thing that jumped to mind subconsciously that came out on why he doesn't want to have his passions?
Because they might be viewed as selfish.
Okay, they might be viewed as selfish. He didn't actually say that, but that's good. So they might be viewed as selfish. I think what he said is he went ahead and said they might be selfish, which is different. Viewing selfish is how we care about other people. Like we care about what other people think. So I'm concerned with how people are going to look at me. I don't think he used the word view, but I could be wrong. It's recorded. That's the benefit of recording. Go back and say, did he say view? I didn't think he said view. I think he said, I'm concerned that they are selfish. Now, if he said that, that's a pure heart. Like, I don't want to be just about myself. I don't want to be just internal. And so when we listen to what people say, people's words actually matter a lot more than people realize they do. What the words, one word in there, it wouldn't matter if he said view, then he's concerned about how people view him. But that's different. And he might have multiple. So just because we found one, Ben already revealed one. And what's the solution for what Ben, revealed? Any of you catch it?
White paper.
The white paper. Yeah, the white paper. So somebody's already been through what Ben is struggling with. Like, I have passions and I'm not sure. Like, they seem selfish. Well, okay. So how can we take our selfish passions and turn them into selflessness? And so, right? Like, that's really cool because then we don't have to feel guilty about it because now we're bringing other people benefit. And so each of the personalities, and so Ben is going to be a wavy line and a ball, I believe. So expressive and then amiable. And so what we're going to talk about is the amiable today, just briefly. So if you choose the ball like Ben had in conflict with others. So this person, the amiable person, one of their greatest strengths is their concern, compassion for people. One of their weaknesses is their concern, compassion for people. So Ben's going to be aware, I don't want to be selfish. I want to be focused. I don't want to just focus on myself. That's a good thing. But that person has a weakness. And that person can think because that concern for other people can turn into being self-righteous. They think they're better than other people because they think they're more caring. What they don't realize is you're being selfish, and because you're not really helping others, solving other people's problems, benefiting others. You're not really doing that for their benefit. I mean, not entirely. You're doing it because it makes you feel good, which is okay. So the amiable actually is a master at selfless selfishness. They're masterful at doing for other people, but then gaining benefit. If you chose like Ben, he chose the amiable and the wavy expressive. So he's amiable and expressive. So Ben is going to be really fun. So one of his greatest strengths is his energy, excitement, enthusiasm. One of his weaknesses, energy, excitement, enthusiasm. So when you're an expressive, amiable personality, people are going to tend to like you. You're going to be a lot of fun. So you're fun and you're caring. This type of person often has a hard time with follow through, especially of task.
You hear that, everyone? I'm fun.
You suck in follow through.
I heard both of those things.
I do suck at follow through, but that's why I make lists.
So if you're an amiable driver personality, one of your greatest strengths would be your drive, your assertiveness. You make things happen. One of your weaknesses is your drive, assertiveness. You make things happen. You're going to have inner conflict. You're going to nurture people, then get frustrated, run them over, apologize for running them over, and run them over again. So Ben actually, as he's gotten married in the last year, as he's gotten, developed, professionally in his career, in his work, in his occupation, in his economic engine, he's learning, he's developing more of these driver skills. And then
You can tell that the driver made the personalities because he used the expression of, "Oh, we're going to run someone over." Does everyone understand that?
no,
It's okay. That's okay.
I got it.
Because you're a driver and you like to run people over. It's okay. Another time.
Was that a joke against me?
Yes, it was. You only understand, hey, again, guys, whoever's watching this pod, you'll only understand that joke if you understand Dad or Mark. So he's just a weird guy mentally. Just
Like if
weird.
the amiable would have made the personalities, they would have been like, yeah, then the driver's tendency is to be very mean to people.
Exactly. Kenny's got it. See, the young guy's got it. High five.
Thank you.
I'm a little lost. I have a hard time connecting dots this year. So were you saying I was being mean to Ben or Ben was being mean to me?
No, we're saying that a driver made the personality. You made the personalities, or you opened the personalities, showed the personalities, and every single personality, you gave an example of running someone over. Not with a horse and buggy, with a car.
Interesting. Okay. So sometimes I'm lost on Ben's jokes. But even when I don't understand what he's saying, it's still funny. So that's the expressive side of him. Is just, should he be a comedian? I don't know. I'd
No.
vote for that.
Probably not.
So the amiable analytic personality, the secondary would be one of your greatest strengths is you like to dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure things are done properly in order. Weaknesses would be the same. And so if you're a combination of this, the amiable, one of their greatest strengths is their tenacity. Like once they set their mind to do something, they do it. They're very, very stubborn.
So how do they run people over?
If they're a driver, they'll go ahead and they'll be super, super nice and then very direct and then super, super nice. Like passive aggressive.
So they run someone over, explain why they should be ran over and run them over again.
No, that's the driver analytic. That's
Got it.
me. So the driver amiable will actually feel bad about running somebody over. The driver analytic will realize it's the person's fault.
Got it.
They were just stupid. They didn't learn their lesson from the first time. Okay, so the amiable analytic will be very stubborn, have lots of data to back up their stubbornness, their bedrock concrete. The thing about the amiable is they're like an iceberg. And so they have a lot of pent up, like they'll be super, super nice. And then all of a sudden they'll blow up. Typically they'll blow up on the person they trust the most. So for Ben, hopefully that's his wife. So he will blow up on her. He will vent his frustration the most on his wife. This might not be so healthy. Like he may have to vent his frustration on other people. Anyways, go ahead.
That's the thing, is like, with having this personality, I mean, some of the people that I know view me as kind of a weirdo. Wonder where I get it from. So I feel like a lot of,
Sorry, go ahead.
So I feel like with my wife, yes, I don't know. I'm blowing up on people. I think I've kind of overcame that to a point. And it's where it's just like, I'll give them subtle little hints. Maybe I should give them bigger hints, but I'll give them subtle little hints, and I'll continue to kind of hint and hint and hint and hint. And they don't get it. Sooner or later, I'll just be like, you know what? Maybe I need to go over to my nephew's house and I just need him. But with that being said, I feel like each personality, there's a different way to handle it. And if you learn what personality you have, you learn your own personality, the ability to be able to read yourself, which a lot of people, I don't think they're like, oh, I know who I am. It's like, no, you really don't. If you can learn your personality, study your personality, you can actually learn who you are. And then you'll notice you doing little things. Like you're like, dude, I just blow up on people randomly. Why do I do that? And so with learning personalities pretty much my whole life, one of the things that helped me extremely was learning myself, figuring out what I liked, what I didn't like, who the people I liked, who I didn't like. With learning that, you're able to tell how to approach someone in a different way, which I feel like a lot of people don't know how to do. Does that make sense?
It does. So I think that, so I've been blessed with 39 years of marriage, 7 kids, 8 grandkids. So I think, so I'm 59 and so Ben is 25. So I think that, this podcast, that a lot of men my age will probably tap into it.
This podcast.
Uh-huh.
Why is that?
Because I think that that men my age are struggling with sons that are your age.
Yeah, no, I could see that, but the problem is with that is people don't really view you as normal. And I would say a lot of people view me as not normal either. Maybe that's selfish. Do you think that this podcast will actually help those men in the area that they want?
For sure, because I think that how much work do you think how much work has it been for you to develop the relationship that you and I have as a father and son? How hard has that been for you?
It's funny, when we were younger and we were in the same house and, I was under your roof, our relationship was just weird. Just weird. But as I moved out and as there was found respect or you didn't really have to worry about me going out to parties, you moved out, that's your choice. I feel like it got a lot easier.
Right. So how much
So
work has it been for you? Like 1 to 10, how would you rate yours and my relationship?
just between me and you,
Yeah.
say an 8.
And what do you like most about the relationship with me? About our relationship?
I feel like we're similar on how we view. Like when I tell people that, like, it's like when I'm working, I view it as like, oh, I want to connect to this person because this person knows this person, and I want to try to understand them to where I'm friends with them so that I can get connections with this person. When I explain people that, they're like, so you're manipulating people and you're a bad guy. Which when I explain it to you, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. You're like, okay, that's cool. Let's do it this way. Not a lot of people understand that, where it's just like you're viewed as a bad person when you're trying to game the system. And with me, I struggled a lot in school, still do. I had to game the system to even be able to pass high school. And so you realizing who I am as a person and growing up and how I was raised and how I view things, that's the favorite thing about you is you understand my mindset and how I view it.
And what would be one suggestion on what could be improved about our relationship?
The biggest struggle I have with it's funny. The biggest struggle that I have with our relationship is when other people are involved.
Right.
Because that makes it complicated. Like, it's just like, they don't, it's like, especially like my wife and you guys, they don't exactly get along to a point. And so that caused altercation to where it's like, she's my wife, but you're my dad. And you've made it clear where it's like, yeah, your wife, pick your wife, go with your wife. But even with my siblings and even with mom, it's to the point of where it's like that causes a lot of altercations. And that would probably be the biggest issue with our relationship, is where it's like, this is a pain.
Yep. So you're gonna enjoy this. I would encourage you to share it with other people. If you're in your 20s, share it with your dad. I'm just saying. So I'm not saying I disagree with Ben about people thinking I'm weird, but I think a lot of dads will relate and connect with me big time. People might say that Ben is strange, and I wouldn't disagree with them, but I think a lot of 20-year-olds, especially guys, are going to go ahead and relate. I think that a lot of dads would be very proud of their sons who are 25, married, has their own house, economic engine, supporting himself, being responsible. I think dads my age would go ahead and be very, very proud. They want their sons to do that. And so I think that moms and sisters and wives and women in their 20s, I think they will be very intrigued by this. And we're going to have guests on. We'll have different, sons and fathers on. We'll have women on. And so I think women are going to be very much drawn to this podcast as well. Because one of the things I've observed about women that's just really cool is they love men who are passionate. So my wife loves that I am passionate about our marriage. My wife loves that I'm passionate about our kids. I'm passionate about our grandkids. She just loves. I'm a passionate person. Women love men who are passionate. Men love women who are passionate. And I think that a lot of people may feel like Ben felt when he started the podcast, is that he didn't have a lot of passions. He does. It's just stoking those passions and directing those passions into really, really cool, productive things. If you have any questions, definitely for sure you want to register on the Life GPS. And so it's a mobile app. It's free. There's no cost to it to register. As soon as you do, you'll go ahead and be introduced to a mentor from this group. And so you'll be introduced to a mentor. that individual will help you get the most out of the group, have, develop connection, relationships, maybe some that go for an entire lifetime. If you have any questions, connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll free 888-230-2300. Outside the US, 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.